Okay, kita we start Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good evening to all. Today we are looking for chapter 3 Chapter 3 and chapter 4 for tonight. You have a problem, you can ask me lah. Okay, today we are looking chapter 3 for programming concept. Programming concept is the process of creating instruction for computer to follow lah. Basically, this one is more on instruction. Instruction. Okay, this instruction known as a code. Instruction. This one we known as code. Code also enable computer to perform a specific task. From simple calculation to complex operation like running a website or controlling the robots lah. Okay, and then there are basic building block that enable programmer to write a code that can be understandable, modular, and also efficient, regardless of the specific programming language. This concept, I think, is very crucial for everyone learning to code, especially as they provide a framework. Dia ada framework ataupun syntax lah for organizing and manipulating data, controlling program flow like looping, and creating a complex software applications. Okay, okay, and then we have a different. This one is syntax, semantic, and pragmatic. Any questions so far? Is it okay?
Okay, Doctor.
Okay, in programming, syntax basically refer to a set of rules that define the correct structure and organization of the programming language. It depends on the programming language that you are how to okay, this one set of rules. Set of rule. It like the grammar of the language. And then it's specifying the how word, symbol, and other element can be combined to create a valid code that a computer could understand. Okay, and then some of the programming language have some rules. For example, it have a structure and order. For example, a keyword like if, else, while. Operators like plus, minus, equal sign. This one is a syntax. Okay, and then semantic refers to meaning and interpretation of the code. This one semantic is more likely to you have to understand the meaning. The meaning as opposed to its syntax, which is the structure and rule of the language. Basically, rule and structures or structure. Okay, we have semantic here. This one is just a simple understanding first before we look into details. And then we have pragmatic. Pragmatic in programming language refer to practical and realistic approach to software development that prioritize delivering the value and solving problem effectively. It is strictly to theoretical principle or methodologies. Later we see this one. Okay, focus on practicality. This one focus on practicality. Okay. And then it also have contextual understanding and adaptability understanding to solve some problem solving problems. Okay. Okay, any questions so far? Okay. Okay, we look into details. Yeah, syntax refer to the set of rule or structure that define how program are written in the programming language. The structure must be considered valid. Without the syntax, the meaning of semantics of the language is nearly impossible to be understand. For example, in Python, we have if else, while, for, class, return, and import lah. Then we have also identifier. Okay, in JavaScript, let's say let username to be equal to Alex, and then we have function calculate a total. Any question? Ada soalan ke setakat ni?
Tak ada, doktor.
Okay. It depend on the language. Sometimes the syntax quite confusing. Okay. For example, here we have expression it is true, expression false, false and true expression, and then we have do while expression and so on. Okay, and then we have semantic in programming. Semantic deals with the structure and form of the code. Okay, meaning it is more likely refers to the operation. And then for the key aspect of programming for the semantic, we have variable semantic, we have type semantic, we have operational semantic, and then we have control flow semantic and function semantic. We have 5 for semantic. First one is variable. Okay. Variable mean represent how the program behave. Variable, let's say we have that counter equal to 0. Okay. This one for the variable, and then secondly is semantic, type semantic. Okay, this semantic is how different data behave and interact. For example, we have in Python. In Python, this one Python. Then we have 5 plus 5 lah. Okay. String it is meaning the string concatenation. The result will be 55 lah. Okay. While in numeric addition, this one for the numeric, we can have 5 plus 5 equal to 10. Okay, and then we have operational semantic. Okay, operational is actually do when it is executed lah. For example, here we have control and data. Control is for program counter and data for the values of the program variables. Okay, in JavaScript, for example, we have this one is for operational, number 3. Okay, for example, we have x plus plus, and then we have x equal to y lah. Okay, and then number 4, we can have a control flow, control flow semantic. Okay, for the control flow, we can have if, while, and so on. And then the last one, number 5, we can have a function semantic. Function, let's say we have defined the calculate area and return the width. Okay, function, for example, here in Python, we define the calculate area. We have width and height. Okay, then we return return with okay. Okay, sometimes we can have a semantic error, unlike the syntax error, which we can prevent using compilation and interpretation. Semantic error don't break the language rule, but lead to incorrect program behavior. For example, using a variable for something other than its intended purpose. Number 2 is logical error. Number 3 is off by one error in loops. And then using a wrong operator, for example, plus when you mean to use multiplication. Okay, any question? Is it okay? Boleh ke? Nah, ni kan. Okay, number 3 is pragmatic. Okay, pragmatic in programming refer to practical, result-oriented approach to software development that also prioritize the effectiveness and efficiency over the theoretical ideal. It's about writing code that works well in the real world situation. It is maintainable and delivers some values. Okay, define best practices. Okay. Okay, and then the key aspect of pragmatic programming. First one is values simplicity. First one we have a value. Okay. Number 2 is prioritize working software. Later I explain.
Doktor, ni contoh dia ke?
Dia punya jenis dia, type.
Okay.
Number 3 be pragmatic. Punya karakteristik. Pragmatic ni about the best practice. Be pragmatic. Number 4 write a practical test. Number 5 is embrace incremental development. Okay. Okay, I explain one by one. Dia punya karakteristik. Okay, value simplicity in pragmatic programming is highly valued because it leads to more understandable, maintainable, and effective software. It is about focusing on clarity, minimizing the unnecessary complexity, and making the code easy to understand and modify. Best practice. This one more on best practice. Best practice is meaning to say is the is amalan yang terbaik lah. For this context, simplicity in this context mean choosing the most straightforward solution. This one is more on the straightforward. Straightforward solution. Avoid over engineering. Number 2 is prioritizing working software. In pragmatic programming, prioritizing software means focusing on the delivering functional, good enough software that meet immediate project rather than striving for perfection. Working software, which means that it depends on the project lah. Let's say if you want to go for the virtual reality or augmented reality, what is the best working software? Okay, this one focusing on delivering function. Delivery function. This approach value the speed, adaptability, and delivering tangible value. Okay, pragmatic programmers often prioritize the prototype, rapid iteration, and quick fix to ensure the software is functional and adaptable to the change of the requirement. Okay, and then pragmatic programming. Be pragmatic meaning the best practices. Okay, first one, build entire strand from the bottom up, right, for readability, keep everything as local as possible, and so on. Okay, any question? Ada soalan ke?
Tak ada.
Okay, and then for the right practical test in pragmatic programming. Yeah, basically, you should know what is the program that you are working on. Okay, and then for the right practical test, basically to reduce the risk because each part of the code is isolated. In the case of infected module, the other will not be affected lah. Okay, any fix or change of the code will also limit to a specific area. Other module can also continues to work. Okay, and then as a programmer, we will not be stuck with the particular vendors or tools. It is easily plugged into a new product. A practical test, which means that It's more on the dependability lah of the code. Okay. And then for the last one, embrace the incremental development, build system piece by piece lah. Okay, start with the minimal viable solution. Make sure it is no incremental cost. And then at the same time, you can add features as needed. Refactor continuously, but also pragmatically and can be implemented lah. Okay, embrace the incremental development mean that you can build the program piece by piece. Okay, this approach also contrasts with the large monolithic development cycle by prioritizing adaptability and responsiveness to change. Okay, for your information, there's a lot of benefit of incremental development. First one, to reduce the risk. The second one is faster feedback, improve the adaptability and increase the maintainability lah. Okay, this one for incremental development. Okay, this one is Lexim. In programming, Lexim is a sequence of character in the source code that will recognized by the lexical analyzer. Form a specific instance of a token. Okay, it create a token. For example, here a token we have if sim relation. Lexim is the specific instance that created by token. This one is the instantiated by token. Created by token lah. Okay. Okay, there are basic unit that you need to know. First one, lexeme and token. Lexeme is a string character that matches a pattern defined for a token. For example, the lexeme integer, integer or number might be a part of token representing a keyword. Okay, for example here, token and lexeme. Okay, I give you another example. Okay, for example, in the code, integer. Okay, we have integer, integer x, x is equal to 10. Okay, integer is lexeme. Integer is lexeme for the token keyword, while the x is lexeme for token identifier. And then the 10 is lexeme for token number. This one lexeme for number. Lexeme for integer. But integer is lexeme for keyword. Okay, and then sometimes it refer also to the pattern, the pattern. Okay, pattern. Okay, in simpler terms, imagine you are writing a books. The words are like lexeme, and the part of the speech, noun, variable, noun, verbs, etc. are like token. The sentence, the quick brown fox jump over the lazy dog, has multiple lexeme. For example, quick, the quick, and they are assigned a different token type, article, adjective, and so on. Okay, for example, okay, let's break to simple one. Okay ke ni? Saya tak faham lagi. Saya bagi tahu token dulu lah. Token is smallest unit of meaningful data. It may identify as operator or symbol or keyword. The smallest unit. Okay. It can be keyword, operator, and symbol. Okay ke? Boleh? Anis? Halim boleh ke?
Boleh doktor.
Soal diam je. Okay. While the lexeme, this one, first one. Number 2 is lexeme. Lexeme is sequence of source code that matches one of the predefined pattern and thereby a form of a valid token. For example, in expression x plus 5, both x and 5 are lexeme that correspond to a certain token. Lexeme ni adalah yang menerangkan tentang unit tadilah. It will describe the token that you define. For example, we have x plus 5. Okay. Both x plus 5 is a lexeme that correspond to certain token. Okay, for example, we have a token constant. Lexeme is constant. Pattern is constant. If the ID is token, and then lexeme is described for the token. For example, here integer is the keyword, x is the integer, 10 is the number lah. Okay, the token for integer, the explanation. Lexeme is the explanation of the token. And then pattern is the rule of syntax that design how token are identified in programming language. Okay, and then number 3 we have pattern. Pattern is a rule of syntax. Rule of syntax. For syntax that design how token are identified. This one describe how token describe or identify lah. Okay. Okay, pattern is rule of syntax. For example, definition, token is basically a sequence of characters that are treated as a unit. Lexeme is a sequence of characters in the source code that are matched by given predefined language rule for every lexeme. And then pattern specify a set of rules that are can follow to create a token. For example, here we have a literal lexeme. Hello world. Hello world is the pattern. How token are identified is a name. It has name. Character between. Okay, as a conclusion, token, pattern, and lexeme represent basic element of any programming language, helping to break down and start making sense of code. Token are basic unit of meaningful things, while pattern define how unit are identified. Whereas the lexeme are actual sequence that match pattern. Okay, later you can see in when you do the programming itself. Okay, and then we have recognizers and generators in programming. Okay, for the recognizer, component in programming that analyze the input and determine if it follows a specific pattern or grammar. Okay, they recognize whether something fit it the defined rule. Okay. Okay, and then for the generator, uh, create a content or data based on the rule or pattern. They produce output according to defined specification. Okay, for example, given string, for a language L, tell whether the string is in L, it is compiler. The generator for L will produce arbitrary string in L on demand. Example, grammar and BNF. Recognition and generation are useful for different things but are closely related. Okay, relationship between a recognizer and generator. Many programming contexts, recognizer and generators form complementary pairs lah. Okay, dia saling memerlukan lah. Okay, for example, compiler contain both recognizer, parser that validate source code and generator that produce machine code. Okay, this one is the device input string over alphabet. Okay, and generator a device that generate okay, sentence of a language. Okay. Okay, you should understand both recognizer and generators. It's particularly important in area like compiler, design, natural language processing, and formal language theory. Okay, any question? Is it okay? Generator create content or data based on the rule or pattern, but for the recognizer component in programming that analyze input. Okay, recognizer ni lebih kepada input. Okay, yang ni recognizer ni lebih kepada input. This one for the input. Dia akan recognize input lah. Manakala generator dia akan create content Create content ni based on input create content. Okay, dia ada code generator. Okay, dia ada data generator. Okay, dia ada banyak lah. Create content based on the code generator. And then they also have the data generator lah. Okay, ada soalan ke? Is it okay? Semua diam je. Dengar ke tak ni? Farisha okay ke?
Okay, Doktor.
Okay, this one is a classification of grammar. Okay, for Turing machine. Okay, classification of grammar. Informal language theory is closely related to computational model that can recognize or generate them. This hierarchy known as a Chomsky hierarchy. Sometimes it recognized as a Chomsky hierarchy. Categorize grammar based on their generative power and the type of machine that can recognize them. Okay. And then for this one, we have type 0. Basically a Turing machine. Production rule, no restriction lah. Okay, for type 0, A implies alpha, where A, alpha and beta are string of terminal and non-terminal. Okay, for the example, any algorithm that can be implemented on computer is type 0. Type 1 is a context sensitive grammar, which means that it is recognizing a machine for the linear bounded automaton, LBA. Okay, this one based on LBA. This one is any algorithm lah. Okay, and then type 2 is context-free grammar. Okay, example is accepted by push or down automata lah. Okay, then we have type 3. We have finite state. Okay, finite state automaton, FSA. Okay. Language generated regular language. Okay, a relationship to Turing machine. Turing machine is most powerful computational model in hierarchy that can recognize or recursively enumerable language from type 0 until type 3. Okay, this one is example. Included all the formal grammar, also known as recursively enumerable language. And then we have type 1. Type 1 is basically is context sensitive grammar. Okay, alpha implies beta. Okay, and then we have type 2 context free grammar. Okay, we have until type 2. Okay, but this one until type 3 lah. But for the classification of grammar, I think enough until type 2. Okay, this hierarchy establishes fundamental limit on what can be computed and recognized by different type of machine. With the Turing machine representing the theoretical maximum computational capability for grammar recognition. Okay, any question for chapter 3? Kita dah habis untuk chapter 3 ni. Ada soalan ke? Tak ada soalan, kita beralih pada chapter seterusnya lah. Ya okay, boleh nampak Ni chapter 4 kan? Okay, we look in chapter 4 Okay, what is identifier? Identifier are given names given to entities in programs such as variable, function, classes, or other program element. They serve as a label to allow you to reference and use this entity throughout your code lah. Okay. Okay, and then we have variable, we have data type, we have this one based on the C++ lah. Okay. Fire. Boleh nampak ke you all?
Boleh, Doktor.
Okay. Identifier fire name program. Okay, such as variable and classes. Okay. Okay, and then key characteristics of identifier. We have naming rules. Naming rules, and then we have some keyword. Keyword. This one is a reserved keyword. Okay. And then for the scope for identifier, we have a global identifier, local identifiers, and a class instant identifier. So we can have different scope, scope or visibility. First one we name is global. Second one is local. Thirdly, class return instant. Okay. Okay, and then we have a variable. Variable is a location in memory computer to hold some specific data. For example here, total sale is valid. Total underscore sale is also valid. Total dot sales is not valid because it cannot contain punctuation marks or dot. Okay, and then cannot begin with the digit and cannot contain the dollar signs. Okay, and then we have a data type. Data types okay, for the data type, define the kind of data that can hold and how computer interprets and manipulate that data. Okay, define the kind of data variable. Okay, and how computer interpret that data. Boleh baca tulisan saya?
Boleh doktor. Boleh doktor.
Okay, we have a primitive basic data type. We have numbers. We have tag, string. Okay, we have boolean. Okay, we have character. We have none or null or undefined. Okay, and then we have composite, complex data like array. Okay, and then we have set, tuples, and so on. And then we have special data type. For example, function, date or time. Okay. And then type of system, we can have a static versus dynamic typing. Okay, static mean type a check at the compile time. For example, we have Java, C++, and TypeScript. And then for the dynamic, we have type check at runtime. For example, Python, JavaScript, and Ruby. This one for the data type. And then we have strong and weak typing. Okay, strong, strict about the type conversion. For example, Python and Java. Weak, that more permissive with type conversion. For example, JavaScript and PHP. Yeah, and then in C programming, we have a special character. Okay, uses several special character that serve specific purpose in a syntax. Okay, for example, we have arithmetic operation. Okay, oh, tak ada yang ni, tak nampak. Okay, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modular. Okay, and then we have assignment operator. Okay, relational operator like equal, not equal to, and so on lah. Okay. Okay, this one is a special character lah. Okay, we have bracket, okay, parentheses, braces, and so on. Okay, input and output statement in C++. Okay, for the C++, provide several ways to handle the input and output operation, primarily through the IO stream. IO stream. See here, IO stream. Okay. Library. Cout. The most common way to display output is using cout. Okay. Yeah. So display output. And then for the error output, we can use CERR and clock. CERR and clock. This one for the error output. Okay. And then for the input statement, we have cin for input. Okay. And then for the reading, we can also use a getLine. GetLine. Okay, this input and output statement from the foundation of C++ input and output operation, allowing the program to interact with the user and external files. Okay. External, for example, we have a cout. Okay, text inside the open close bracket. Okay. Okay, this one is input and output in C++. We have CERR and clock. Okay, both CERR and clock output string in C++ designed specifically for error and logging messages. Okay, it's quite similar for the screen. CERR is unbuffered output stream for error message. Okay, and then clock is a buffered output stream for general logging information. Okay. When to use? Use CERR when reporting critical errors. This one when you use a critical error. And then debugging time. sensitive issue for the clock recording general program information. This one is non-critical, non-critical. Okay, and then if you want to measure the performance, both stream can be redirected separately from standard output lah. Okay, for example, you can separate C out, okay, from CRR and clock go to error tags lah. Okay, in practice, many C++ programmers primarily use CRR for all reporting, while clock is less common. Okay, this one is common. Most programmer uses. Okay. Okay. Choose CRR because it is for the critical error and debugging time. Because clock is non-critical. Okay, this one input and output statement in C++. Okay, header files in C++ for input and output operation. We have IO stream, IO manipulation, F stream, and bits and standard C++. This one is a header file. Okay, this one is example. Okay, for the input, cin. Okay, cin the variable. What is your semester? Ask the user and cin semester. Okay, this one simple program. Okay, this one is a statement. Okay, hello world. Okay, the output will be hello there lah. Okay, this one for sample program 1 to calculate the CGPA. Okay, okay, we have C out total number of subject, and then we have declare the float, okay, integer C and so on. Okay. And then we have arithmetic operators used to perform numeric calculation for mathematics. Okay, this one exercise, calculate the area of circle. Okay. Then you can copy paste and then you can have this one output. Okay, this one is solution. Okay. Okay, I think that's all for tonight lah. Any questions so far? Is it okay?